Hello students, this is Nilofer, your SS teacher. Today we are going to continue with chapter 20, Disaster Management Part 2. So our first point here is tsunami. The destructive and powerful sea waves are called tsunami. These are generated at the sea bottom due to earthquake having a rating of 7 or more on Richter scale or by a volcanic eruption in sea or by a large-scale landslide on ocean floors. Tsunami means destructing waves in Japanese language. Tsunami occurs mostly due to earthquakes on ocean floors, so these are also known as oceanic earthquake waves. These waves travel very fast in circular pattern from the place of their origin. In deep sea, these waves are not seen distinctly due to their shorter wave heights, but when they approach coast and shallow sea, they turn into devastating form. Its velocity reduces near coasts, but height increases. So, these waves surge ahead in the form of a wall near seacoast and cause devastation. More than 2 lakh people from Thailand, India, Indonesia, Sri Lanka and other southeastern countries became victims of highly destructive tsunami on 26 December 2004. With modern equipments, a forecast and a nearly exact time of the striking of a tsunami can be predicted. In future, more deaths can be prevented with due precautions. So, here we are having the forecast for the tsunami, and due to that forecast we can save many lives. But what to do when this happens? With tsunami warning, move to a safer place away from sea coast. Keep a radio handy and act according to the instructions received from the authorities. Construction of new buildings and societies should be carried out considering the tsunami impact. As we saw earthquake proof, same like that tsunami impact. Mangrove reduces the overall impact of tsunami, so attempts should be made to expand their span. Now what not to do? Do not take shelter on tall buildings because these buildings may collapse due to destructive waves. After the tsunami recedes, do not approach sea coast till the instructions are received from the authority. Now the next one is drought. A drought is a highly destructive hazard, leaving a long-lasting impact. It is connected with water and food which are very much needed for the existence of living organisms. The problem of drought occurs in regions of monsoon climate where the rainfall is irregular and is very scanty. This is so because the cultural crops, food grains and living organisms depend completely on water. The shortage is created due to water crisis. Under such conditions, heavy damage is done to agriculture and natural vegetation. Earlier, many people died of starvation during a drought, but now it could be reduced due to transportation and well-planned management. So when this situation occurs of the drought, then what you will do? So what to do? Drip irrigation in agriculture should be intensified. Food rationing and use of water should be planned after estimating their availability. Arrangement should be made for fair price distribution of food grains and relief work. Construction activity should be stopped except for the inevitable work. Okay, these things you have to do and what not to do. To prevent the food wastage, do not hold large-scale dinner parties. Citizens should not hoard food grains or fodder. Fodder means the animals feed. Now the next point is forest fire. A forest fire is the fire which occurs in forests and creates devastation. Except for lightning, all other reasons for a forest fire are man-induced. Among them, throwing of burnt butts of cigarettes, bidis or matchsticks, burning things left by tourists, pilgrims or shepherds etc. are the major reasons. There are more probabilities of a forest fire occurring during a dry season after autumn because that time trees are also dry and it can catch fire easily. At that time, the dry grass and fallen tree leaves act as fuel. This situation is responsible for the spread of forest fire. When both wind and inflammable fuel are dry, they form the basis of forest fire, which spreads faster during windy days of more temperature and less humidity. Some trees ooze out oily and inflammable material, so the fire spreads faster. Once the forest fire starts, it spreads in the direction of wind, advancing at a velocity of about 15 km per hour on all sides. Once it starts, and if attempts are not made promptly to extinguish it, the forest fire would stop only under two situations. First is, the forest fire is extinguished completely by itself or due to heavy rain. Due to forest fire, smoke and spark rising high with the warm air current create a risk of fire among the nearby settlements. Just now also, last year only we had seen this situation. The forest fire was there and many animals were died and it was a large devastation. Now what to do when this situation occurs? Act according to the instructions from Forest Department. Arrange special patrolling in forests during dry seasons. Employees of Forest Department should be trained for extinguishing forest fire. Now what not to do? While traveling through a forest, do not throw a burning bidi or other things. People living in settlements near the forest fire area should not ignore the instructions from Forest Department. Okay? These were all natural disasters. Now comes man-induced disasters, the disasters which happen due to the activities of the man. Those events which take place due to direct or indirect, knowingly or unknowingly done by men, unawareness or ignorance and failure of human machinery, etc., which cause heavy damage to human life and property, are called man-induced disasters. This is the definition of man-induced disasters. Now let's see what are these disasters. First, industrial accidents. In industrial townships, mills, factories, etc., there is a chance of accidents even after enough precautions are taken. Such accidents result into death of people, livestock and damage to property. Besides, the environment is also affected. Human errors are at the base of industrial accidents. Men undertake the management and care of various machines of industrial processes and collection, transfer and distribution of the manufactured goods. At every stage, an accident cannot be ruled out. For example, we are having here great example, Bhopal gas tragedy, it happened. See, Union Carbide located at Bhopal, which is the capital of Madhya Pradesh, used to produce insecticides. In the process of production, a poisonous gas, MIC, was used. This gas was stored in large tanks. In the early morning of 3rd December 1984, these poisonous MIC gas started leaking from the tanks, which lasted for about 40 minutes. See, continuously for 40 minutes it was leaking. Due to this event, which took place in early morning, the gas was very quickly spread over the densely populated area in Bhopal. According to official figures, about 2,500 people died and thousands of residents in Bhopal were affected by these poisonous gas. Besides people, the gas also killed thousands of birds and animals. Drinking water, reservoirs, land, unborn babies, newborn babies, pregnant women, etc. were victims of its adverse effects, while 10,000 people became handicapped permanently. 1.5 lakh people were handicapped partially. So this was the impact of this disaster on the human life, not only the human but even the birds and animals, so all the living beings. Here we are concluding our video. The further points we'll see in the next video. If you are having any doubt, you may call me. Thank you.